This is the untold story of 8 Hours, a company that didn't start with a business plan, but with a burnout. It's a pursuit of actionable delusion, but it's also really a journey that's only at chapter 1, in its infancy, and we're about to unfold it all. I quit. I started my career as an MLA lawyer in 2020. Got 2 fancy degrees, a big paycheck, a fancy office. Yet I was working long hours, thought I was going to be a Harvey Specter, but didn't quite feel like that on 2 hours of sleep. I felt drained, I felt tired, I felt done with it all. Not just because of the long working hours, but also kind of the mindset, the toxic hustle culture. And I was working out, was kind of trying to get my health in check, was making no progression at all. And I just figured when my sleep slipped, the rest came crumbling down. I was chasing a dream that made sense to everyone, but not to me. In 2021, I quit. Not just a job as a lawyer, but the whole mindset, the whole push until you die, the whole sleep is for the weak. And I did what I was trained to do. I dug in. But this time, instead of cases and due diligence, it was sleep science, human performance, things that truly, really inspired me and I was passionate about. I listened to hours of Human Lab podcasts. I saw all of the studies on sleep on PubMed, and I talked to everyone from neuroscientists to Olympic athletes. And in the meantime, I was with a select group of friends of mine. We were using ourselves as guinea pigs, testing every trick, supplements, everything in the books. Yet, the one thing that always came back is that we couldn't find something that actually related to us. We were simply selling pills and solutions and promises without not showing the lifestyle, not showing the people behind the brand and how to actually incorporate these things in our life. And the branding was either clinically clean or childishly colorful. It didn't relate to us at all. I wanted to find something that was different, a brand rooted in science but wrapped in emotion and proven in practice. Something that didn't sell magic pills but tools for people like me who aren't afraid to do the work but just look for things to optimize. So I set out to actually create that myself, and we would start with the hours that were basically tossed aside these days by the hustlers. Recovery, the quiet moments. Chapter 1 would be sleep, but it would always be more than that. We even set the brand up as being 3 verticals: 8 hours of play, 8 hours perform, and 8 hours of pause. A solution to optimize human performance around the clock. It took us a year and a half and more to actually unfold the second vertical, which is something we're working hard on now. But that is a story for another day anyway. Then I went to look for suppliers. I talked to 52 of them. I dialed it down to 5, which I found to be the best in class across Europe. And then they all left me out of the room. They were used to 100,000 euro plus orders, and I had 15,000 euros to my name to invest in this, and nothing but conviction and some vague vision. But I can be a persistent. So I made a pitch deck based on nothing but conviction and vision. I got in the room with one of their CEOs, or one of these brand CEOs, and their chief scientists. And after leaving the room, we had a exclusivity agreement and a first order set for 10,000 euros. R&D started the next week, and as of there, me and my remaining 5,000 euros went on a quest.
Sitting at this table for one, reflecting on the days in the month, tipped away to with love. I set the fee, they couldn't pay me enough. Steady speed with my patience and trust. Feel the race from the sun, cutting through cumulus. Knew the rudiments, making gleaming through the true abyss. Walk the city that I grew up in, peeking through the lens. Speak the truth, they try and do you in. Catch me in the crib, yeah. Building up a split, niggas swing the miss, yeah. I can see the shit.
So back to the story of 8 Hours. Basically, once production got locked in and we got the product secured, the quality product, me and my remaining 5,000 euros, we went on a quest. Because there's always been the other side of it. Brands just didn't resonate with me. They were selling magic pills, they were selling quick fixes and all that stuff. And the tone of voice was clinical or childish. So I did the same as I did with suppliers, and I pitched to my friends, my run club friends, Blair and Oliver. Essentially both designers by trades, but very different people, very different skill set. The only thing that kind of glued us together was this belief in this vision and this belief in kind of actionable delusion. Because the pitch wasn't strong. There was no money, high stress, potentially some payoff, but not in the next 5 years. But still, we started this journey, and in 4 months, we kind of built the tone of voice, built the vision, built the brand. There's so much things I could talk about. And the paradox was that while we were building this sleep and recovery brand, our own sleep took its toll. But the contrast kind of makes sense because it's something we felt inside as well. And so did the brand. At one point, we got to a vision that entailed not just sleep, but really a system. 8 hours of play, 8 hours of perform, and 8 hours of pause. We started developing the packaging. We started developing a vision for a recovery club, a community. I remember vividly editing files in Colombia on a hike, and we redefined weekends, but we really were building this brand aside of our full-time jobs. Ultimately, we launched the product and the brand back in October 2023 at the Amsterdam Marathon in collaboration with our friends from Bamba's Run Club, where we actually all met. It was a great event, but it also stress-tested our relationships, both our own as the ones with external friends, and it even broke some. In the end, we had 2,000 euros left to our name, an ice bath on the middle of the city, and an event that looked great, but definitely took a toll. It definitely took a toll on Blair, who was the first co-founder who actually left 8 hours. His high-demanding day job and just a general malaise at that point made him pivot out. I love Blair. He's still one of my best friends, one of the most talented people I know, but it was a big challenge for 8 hours to overcome that first setback. Yet Ollie and I, we carried on and we breathed the life into the 8 hours. Actually wonder why we're always showing this workout footage, and we show you business, but also running, working out, all that stuff. But it's just because that is the lifestyle we live. That's the lifestyle we aspire to live and portray. It's also why we built tools for our ideal lifestyle. We're simply creating things for ourselves that we need, that we want. And we really believe that if you're in a health and lifestyle business and you're not showing that, the lifestyle, then what are people even buying into? So it's really important for us to keep this movement in there. It's never just been about sleep. Our tagline is sleep to move. It's about what sleep allows you to do. It's that potential that you can really reach when you know when to take a step back and lock in that sleep and recovery. But Oliver and I, we carried on and we geared up for our online launch. Again, in true startup fashion, we delayed our launch 4 times. We deleted our website by accident. And we also made every mistake in the book, basically. Then we launched at the end of 2023, at the final end in December, and we amounted to the astronomical number of 900 euros, which was amazing. Launches are overrated anyway, but the good thing was people actually stuck around. They loved the product, they got onto a subscription, and they stayed with us, which was enough for us to believe in this actionable delusion still, that this brand could be something. So bit by bit, we scaled, and this is also when Marcel kind of came into my life.
Costumers that...
Marcel was a 21-year-old student with a fiery passion for e-commerce, and he got on board. not for a paycheck, because there was none, but just for the sheer amount of learnings he could have. It was also Marcel that helped us set up our paid media campaigns, our paid media engine. And that's really how we kind of started learning about our target customer, about you guys, dreamers. Like, we understood our angles, what phrases hit, what didn't hit. And we basically took the 4,000 euros that was left and got it straight into ads. And bit by bit, we started scaling, we started developing, all the way up to about 40,000 euros in revenue a month and about 600 to 700 people on our subscription. Just finished a workout at Motley Crue in Cape Town with Stark on the camera. Pretty light, 500 meters row, 50 wall balls, 500 meters ski erg, 50 lunges, somewhere near race pace. Not quite, so I'm pretty dead, but should work out. Got a sweat in, gonna record some more. I'm dead.
I was a moving man in my younger days, but I got out of my rambling ways. I lived that road, I so far behind, and now I know. Oh, baby, I got mine. I got mine. I got mine. Oh, baby, I got mine.
Back to the story of 8 hours then. While scaling the business, we were organizing events with our recovery club. Events for 10 people, 30 people, up to 300 people at one point. We were really gathering steam. And then, still one of my biggest regrets, we completely fell off. We were super grateful for the people that came in our journey, that helped us, but also disappointed in ones that kind of backstabbed us. Ego got the better of all of us, and the main reason why we fell off was just focus. We were a tiny team, Ollie, Marcel and myself, trying to scale this business, trying to organize these events, and we just couldn't do it. Not because we didn't want to or didn't see the value, but just because we couldn't bring to the community what we wanted to bring. Our last event was in June 2024, and since then, Recovery Club has been put on the back burner. And then in August 2024, we decided that I would also buy out Ollie as my second co-founder. We're great friends, but him wanting to scale his design business, his freelance business, was just not compatible with the all-encompassing thing that 8 hours had become. I'm not gonna lie, like, losing my two co-founders hit hard, not just because I lost two extremely talented people, but also because the entrepreneurial journey can be very lonely. It's a different type of lonely. Definitely when on the surface it all looks like it's going great. I derived a lot of strength from the kind of us vs them vibe that I got with my co-founders. But in any case, with Marcel as my right hand in Barcelona, we carried on, scaled the business to 50,000 euros a month, 800 subscribers. And then November rolled around, December, and it hit really hard. Our ads got pulled, we got stock issues, or Google Ad account got screwed over. We got an agency that we thought was going to be the golden goose, but it was a total mismatch, and sales dropped after Black Friday. It's the first month we didn't actually grow. I had just quit my job at Amazon, and for a moment I felt free, and then it kind of came crumbling down. My mental health was tied up with my Shopify dashboards. I didn't lead, I reacted based on panic. And it was really hard until I kind of had a conversation with my granddad, who was 90 years old. And he told me that the one thing he'd do differently was he'd take more shots, more risks, but he didn't feel like he'd ever gotten the opportunity to. It kind of flipped the switch for me. I deconnected from my Shopify dashboard, didn't look at all the fluff that gurus tried to like sell me, and I got back to the fundamentals. The base on which 8 hours was built, 8 hours of pause, 8 hours of perform, 8 hours of play, and I went back to create for me, because I'm the only person I actually knew. And that kind of switched the flip. Thing is, the shipment that had to come from the UK is still stuck at customs. We normally do delayed VAT.
Yeah. I said I'm sick and tired, all these people saying names. And I don't wanna die, I wanna set the record straight. I gotta stay alive for my fucking soulmate. You can never understand, it can never be the same. I never wanna change for you, for me. It's all I've ever known, tell you that's the fucking story. All I've ever known, please baby don't ignore me. All I've ever known, never wanna change.
With that focus that I regained after that half period in November and December, I also figured out that I was the bottleneck. This was bigger than me. The brand was bigger than me, and I needed people with the same fire, with the same delusion, but with a different skill set. Back in November 2024, I was training for a marathon in Kenya, and so was Ollie.
I just bought an avocado for 10 cents.
I've known him for about 3 years now. He was then the head of e-commerce at Nike Strength and was running his own 7-figure brand. But I know deep down that he wasn't actually building what he fully was passionate about, which is human performance. And I also came to understand after chats with Ollie that he was the person that could bring 8 hours to the next level, to the next chapter, that new vertical of performance. And he can tell his story way better than I can. But as of April 1st, 2025, Ollie is officially on board full-time as co-founder of 8 Hours. Aside of Ollie, I also brought KJ, an old friend of mine, videographer, savant at the camera, worked with the biggest brands in the world, and David, a creative soul that I've met through running, on board, both of them. They don't just create content, they breathe the soul into things. They are the creative content engine of 8 Hours, and they are the ones that are gonna make this journey look good. Together with Marcel, Oliver, David and KJ, we're gonna scale this to the next level. So what lays ahead for 8 Hours? So we're currently almost at 100K monthly revenue and 1,500 subscribers. And while I wouldn't have believed that if you told me that last year, working capital is tight, costs are high, and any money we make, we immediately put back into the business, into bigger purchase orders, or next marketing campaign on any growth. Neither Ollie or I quit our jobs to build something mediocre, something medium. We're really in this to build something category defining for people like us, for dreamers like us. And we're not gonna do that alone. We'll show you how we try and build 8 Hours into an umbrella brand from our chapter 1 that was sleep to a chapter 2 that is performance. How we're trying to build lifestyle tools for the dreamers that want to be their best for longer and that have that internal contrast, that understand that you need to take a step back before you charge forward at times. And we're also gonna show you how we built this young team that still has no idea what we're doing and how we're trying to build scalable systems. We'll show you how we try and raise $1 million to supercharge our vision with institutional private investors, and probably how we'll get laughed out of the room most of the time. We'll show you how we try and revive our Recovery Club community, not as a marketing spiel, but because we truly believe we can bring something to the community. We'll show you how we attack or fend off big brands with not even 1% of their budget, and why we'll win anyway, but also how we'll fend off copycats that have emerged and trying to steal our ethos, or brand voice, or content, or even our product. All the while being on this pursuit, not really a journey, but true pursuit of actionable delusion. And there's gonna be potentially high highs. There's definitely gonna be low lows.
Why are we doing this?
Why? When the delusion doesn't feel actionable anymore, but actually it's just mad. And we'll show you that as well, because that is part of this journey, more than you'd know or more than you'd like. Yet, if you push through, there's something interesting on the other side of that. And if you've ever been called a dreamer, then you're basically already part of this. I can really build this vision out graphically.
And then boom, cut.